issue aba. One science na contract na omo yen sa.
Since 2022.
Of course, we
BB cost so but how do one person get raped twice?
You kutumri case. I feel because kasim we are. Kasim omesa bo kakra. Okay, ya na second one e nko obi.
Yes sir.
One avaka boy.
Where back story. They didn't report him to hospital authorities or harassing. And they are getting offended.
Oh,
like joke. We better say agro.
That's why the boy really blog on.
Ah, chamo. Oh, come on, me say. Shebe bia wo free na so ho.
Yeah.
Say futu no nya de ketwa. O bom pa so anu asrese be yi sign. Musuo how e free so.
Because we dey go back of first get tram this is Afri police.
So na be come. Which is true.
Come na be any who. Yeah, your man stop. Also stop and also what was into a rape no. Some fool say who van chamber there some fool. And now who just say be on team me ma kono asem. Masa de no kwa du baby a. Ni ka cho ba stopper. Nyam nyam ku. Hi, the BKB show is back again. Said that I am your bani about Chinkomo. And ye nuanom ne mpanyimfo ahodo ne akeka etiabom ne acheche ya adwen afa nyoma bebre ekoso e wo man mu ho. And ye ba behwe sporting fraternity ne biem. And nansen yina hu the President's Cup. The kind of attendance ye nyaa no. I think that the last time ye nyaa be of the Black Stars on bomb last game in Ghana. Na massive. In fact, ama nipa bebre ka say na say game no say de ka no. The interest is still there, but then young and right. Then how many Panko Stadium? We say Obenya Kotoko playing against Hearts of Oak. In fact, last year, President's Cup, no, almost be a gate free, sir. But I was at the stadium. It was, I mean, guys even have full, nay bad. You see, your league games, we are struggling to have people, especially your major stadium, Kumasi, Accra. In fact, teams are not the one support Park Kotoko has no, as the attendance is so good. Then a year, Ujidi said, you wait it differently. I'm a fans number. And who's a man about coverage? So this time GH1 my better coverage compared to the new Ghana Premier League last season. In fact, last season a lot of Ghanaian Premier League fans are on cost stadium no. A lot of them are chance and games in this. The reason being, and meaning say one person a man for a penasem because of the sporting views, Dr. Kofi Asafoji. Also, one follow most of the games because of the coverage. Or Shakra and Nasi Bibi Yayano. Then you beat me on the right. Ghana football, you Jimmy Yaman and say, Ozi in Edia no tomb. You taught to a drink near a choir, you beat in the ye near any ajo. Nancy, so you say, I mean, had to forget a new coach at Santiago call. Still, as I do 2-2, Zito and Twaso and a man and Twaso, a busy Bruni, baby, so Mukope, way forward in the Senate. And of course, we also look at the Club World Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup. When you say a lot of commentaries in Swabahon, if you say let's have fixture conjunction. Now if I the tournament we have players in the bread. This is the time. A lot of the teams can also the pre-season, but almost bought very competitive games. Until everything effect on almost seasons. No, if you are bad December, January, oh baby, and then but the money is good. Scale no super, and for teams from Africa, we are 9.55, almost 10 million. That's a lot of money. If you hear teams like Sundowns, no team winning one game, our ball draw, and it's hard now. It's just 13 million. That is very good money for those teams. Now, because I was already CAF Champions League, I say no. It is said teams, no. Omona, baby, any gold stars, any Santiago Roko, Nyomogako pray, our Africa, no. Saying that I was here, Nyoma. What can we do to make our clubs better? Then a bit your football, no cry. And then so I better. And of course, they have a Club World Cup and also a month for some more Kafa. Who are the best performers? It looks like Brazilian clubs, no, they are really doing well. Or they compare Africa, the Oyi, Ochinia, and Kofi Ombaya, Carpenter for any security for Yombaboya. Also, Yomufrima, Africa, and of course, we also look at the format. But to do this, yeah, the industry players, Nanaba, you can't go to some you know. You'll be supposed to be Payala. I used to have come here, Hamza, and as I would do so, Omana, or sport your only better. Now, you are not a carbon to your car. Is there a beggar card? No one for without that. You might be taught to have fat, and your man, a coso, a good human. no money na makwaba. But first of all, akomia me shall say so. Club World Cup no. We impressions generally. A busy for so be any so but we said is gonna then say no.
But I think first of all, it provided level grounds ma various continents so be ban ma be chere say no money most city. First, in that format, no, Omonibedi camp wa a group semi-final na European teams na ba be. But this time around, you beam to wow, how they should be an office of it, so it provides equality for every single team in this world, which is fair. You thought you disease Kasubum. Because so corner on free group stage and now could take $9 million and even $10 million for an hour. Go winning game $2 million.
Yeah.
Who draw game $1 million. So imagine there over 3 games you could have $6 million at the group stage. Over in the back on our brass. So all the Sundown Square example. We participation fee from my Sundowns and going at $3 million. Aside participation fee in your marketing, get here attached about the time. So I think it's kind of woman so ebwa. But the accolade of being the best club in the whole wide world is another thing we need to look at.
Accolade no, we have to say how do we are? Say Chelsea, yeah. Would you say Chelsea is the best team in the world?
Best club.
Because we did Club World Cup.
Obiji World Cup. The same format now the World Cup. Obiji World Cup. I saw the best nation we are seeing.
So World Cup is different. It's a World Cup there. The Bob boy in your bar, you have a bitch. I was there.
World Cup the new way near. So back a club back nations.
But so we have teams qualify so count.
We saw continent in our Babaji and Adia. So 4 years interval, you need to perform consistently. They fight for it hard. Unless you say when you're one team, be watching it consistently 2 or 3 years, then not the specific continent, no more federation they use the coefficiency. No more they are ranking, no more you do work on. And yes, sir, you have to say Europe.
Okay.
This is what the Champions League and some qualify about. So for the next 4 years, I'm going to the Champions League this year, next year, the third, you better to us so Mona Bede, Mona Mobeba. So people are going to us 2 and 3 to say here, Real Madrid and Azene is down here now. On the come back, no more you see the coefficients, rankings. No more year. Wow, that top I deserve is over qualifying near the Waba. So it's something now, over 4 years. It's not easy. Over brands and idea, and I'm happy. Share the kind of environment South Americans for the creative. Share what it means to the Asian teams. Diamonds for the buy and show more supporters. On bit more to rooms,
almost supporters who are will be in also. So them supporting the Bakasi and also better. Like from start,
so a moment they relish it. Anna once so more or more embrace different cultures.
Yeah.
Because baby I will free ban or the way you walk on any sunny or baby. So had the opportunity to experience what it means to meet different kind of people. So this is what our football, maybe I can say pra and more games in those be these are things that may raise concerns about. But I think on a broader large scale, no, your share teams now kaka that Ben Pan and Sundowns being $5 million. Now 9 and 10. Would you ever say Sundowns or more than Oscar? Obi to say be a Flamingo, Obi to say Fluminense. Someone don't player. Conferences can know him for Auckland for you. Or more check your yearly budget from police could utilize about $430,000.
Oh, we have 3.86.
Yeah, no be brave and a bit in my mom. So we can look at the positive side and look at the negative side. Europeans might have their view. Which you must say you're in club munina the statement about calling it the West idea. Which personally I believe say or the right he's talking about the right things. But I think all tagging was the worst ever idea in terms of the competition. That is where I'll have a problem with it.
Okay.
But legitimate concerns pan were raising about the injury situation of players, European or more pack schedule near the other. And then Maresca couldn't come. Brazilian journalists beside they say Fluminense about 70 games. After so this is a competition. I'm in love with it. Okay. I love it. It provides equal grounds. The first one until be a can was it. And it's a competition that can evolve.
How teams qualify? Yes, and 7 teams. I mean,
Anna is the first of its kind. So it's a competition and you can say a squashing on.
Okay.
So we can correct one or
maybe I cut down the number.
Yeah, cut down the number. You say, but scanning we can look at it, but it's not something we should quash it. I think personally, so 4 teams from Africa, 4 teams from maybe South America, 4 teams from here. It provides equal competitive grounds. Yes, so people do Europe for they would now come by do semi-final. No be 2 matches or so much. But when we share group stage, we show. We could pay more answer no was be share because Fluminense check maybe we free buy on be pay more the semi-final. Now in the group stage, they play Dortmund.
Yeah.
Dortmund for Europe nearby. Wabo Sundowns.
So game na Sundowns and winning Madrid woman.
Sundowns also free Africa naba. When you have opportunity to play against Islam for also free Asia. So you look at variety of continent on your Moshiabo. Maybe you move to the next round. This is another team. Not now. I'm feeling maybe share you before. But if I go say, me some bad dream. Maybe I'm coming PSG. Probably share about that. Pre-season, PSG. Or no, all my Brazil home. Obeko US and Obeko Asia. Obeko. Nya baby crown anymore. So supporters ne ba mo hey, it's never seen here. Hey, it's a future Karaskelian here. It's when here. It gives them a sense of belonging. Same thing about football. Football should unite. Football shouldn't be divided. Football nyam kofuko ba ko dia. Europe for no more legitimate concerns, but kasane ya doso.
Ayala, I be about attendance. I mean, and the weather is terrible. And I know pay my friend back say, oh no, opeso ko game but her weather now US on is so hot. I mean, some man for raise concerns about the World Cup. But Tanzania can't go say it was the same thing with US 94. Now weather is terrible. We are never bonny baby. I say Europe baby. I say we are no we are complaining. It's almost about attendance. It looks like I say FIFA. The plan was to make it big, but as a man for so many years, and teams in the dorsal. Imagine the champions of Africa are not there. The champions of Asia are not there. Oh, obviously as na you move that, but okay.
We are moved by money and power. Some money in the control. Say, Enkofu Refi. They are shaking the foundations of football competitions. So for Intino Perez money.
It's a Super League now. What
was the idea? The idea was that Yambo more games,
more money.
Na more money. Now on run a football club da. Now on the expenses are kumwa. You may think say business no. Yes, but yes, until we need more competitions. And yes, men koto one player, £100 million. And kasa me de beje Champions League. Me what Champions League na we no. Se me win po the prize money in the Champions League. Any me TV process amenye nyina akra no and do 100 million. And that is just one player contract. So the concerns that they were raising, they were legitimate too. FIFA knew about it.
Yeah.
Since our raises are concerned now, it wasn't passing through Omo Kasa channels. No. The changes about football. It first started with the Champions League
format. Assistant. Say Europa money winning
assistant. They've introduced Conference League. I didn't know we introduced. They want more games for more teams. And more now, more now, Unya Avenue, so we'll be making money. Now, the FIFA Club World Cup, I got 36 teams. Yes, Sikapudu and our year teaching $1 billion into all games who appear any BBR amounts can be. So that is where I started from. And that is the reason why. So we are for Intino Perez in the poster, time of FIFA Club World Cup. Or to our say, this is what we are saying. But not young no true moon in Tinamum even beyond football. Jamo boxing money at the Yamun and Tamon Fanko Saudi Arabia. Why will you do that? Yeah, because a honest scandal. The world is moved by money and power. Inti baby a sikawo, baby a tumi one. A honor obia beko. It happens baby a uyase. And I say it's a reality. If I'm listening to people, now omu raise issues gidi. Now say at the end omu raise issues, against say Saudi is being moved by Sika. And I'm just anasam go for no omababo no mo bono mo mpeska club. Obey Liverpool manager. Now you are the head of football for the Red Bulls. Red Bull for the next business.
Yeah.
You are doing the whole year. One of the Red Bull teams in the Ebo FIFA Club World Cup.
Yeah, sounds work.
I didn't know the director of football one can say Debbie. Yeah, you say Oba bread don't see But will you have taken that decision to the board of Red Bull say, yeah, man, but they would have told you say no more is coming the bread.
Yeah.
the world is moved by sika. And it's a only sika. Now, and yet to me in the for the first time in FIFA Club World Cup, Saudi Arabian clubs are playing Ebobi.
Yeah.
And there is the Saudi Sports Foundation investment for sponsoring Adiano.
Yeah.
Where the monies are coming from are the same people who says, oh, why do you think Inter Miami played? Inter Miami, there is no criteria they will qualify.
They needed Messi in there.
Exactly. And what will Messi bring? Commercial value. And I want to understand and confirm when they share their opinion and ask whether they've been part of corporate meetings, any idea. Because if you go to corporate meetings, the reason why the finance manager what will bring the money? At the end of this can be bad. And it's a club can say, oh, and gophobia, sebi, or Mudashoria, they take decisions anyhow, and Omako take the worst decision. Look, at that meeting, FIFA will look at Charlie, on my revise Champions League, on my revise other competitions. FIFA Club World Cup, it is Canada. They say, okay, let's increase the teams. The increase team never more attractive to corporate. The moment the argument will be, we will be able to raise revenue. Everybody in the boardroom will say then, it's a go
as long as it's bringing money.
That is it. You really have to say even Africa. Mochepe will be introducing the African Super League and because why are consultative meetings, I engagements in now. Let me show you something. So Osha, the FIFA, this is the global transfer report.
Okay.
2024.
Yeah.
That's the latest. You bet your picture. The picture we with the Wagasa generation. I can say about the last transfer window na European.
On transfer fees,
reporting in reporting they segment it into continents. This is the top 10. Clubs are almost spending par on the transfer.
Yeah, they were two screens so no be here.
One first for
Mamelodi Sundowns, South Africa, Ali Egypt, Esperance Tunisia, WAC.
Were they all not at the FIFA Club World Cup? What does it tell you? It tells you say clubs now almost seek to spend. Buy the best of players. Whether a coincidence or what, according to the research, money on the African continent. I see expanding FIFA Club World Cup, clubs of free Africa. Good. And now we say then it come back to investment because this shows you say those who are investing
and the ones who are getting the results.
Exactly. And to say that is what we must do. Maybe there was a certain principle. And it's our principle in Tina Paris Saint-Germain agent. And I'll share it here. The principle in FIFA Club World Cup. Now about the bona fide property of the European clubs in the Champions League. The last time a club at free Europe, what the Champions League was way back 2013. Tite, the Corinthians. We 2013 now you go as far as 207. Now Paris Saint-Germain the Champions League. Now almost all FIFA Club World Cup. Yes, expanding into 36. They say Chelsea say Real Madrid say and now they are giving Paris Saint-Germain competition. But they're Chelsea agent, they're Real Madrid agent. They won it and they just went both semi-final, one match, now final, no match. And do Paris Saint-Germain unfortunately for them, yes, that is why I'm supporting them to win. Because I am for almost so deserve be. And through to form they are showing say they are the best club in Europe. They say clubs in Akafo, but Brazil and for Europe. If you are indeed the kings of Europe, then you need to beat Real Madrid and whoever comes in the final from Chelsea, defeat them. Any from Venice, you need to beat them and win. Maybe they might throw me support I'm a Paris Saint-Germain. But the bottom line is that Jamo Eyesi Kasam. And unless you've not been where they are discussing where the world is moving to. And I will be raising criticism when some people take decisions based on Sika. Saying yes, idea, yet yes, Sika, if you see BBA is Sika. And to BBA, what Sika as underlying fact and you take his decision, me, I support it.
Well, money man, says the money man. As I read, young, I mean, what
Yeah.
with respect to, and Ayala is making a very great point. I mean, football is about money. And I heard, I didn't know some years, Super League now. The internal here Premier League teams in the pan. Because Sangofono, the commercial value that comes with them, are crazy. I mean, Premier League team, it is a West Ham, no Pebia. On your PSG, go with the open player. They have so much money. You say football na and even the FIFA World Cup in itself, they are expanding.
Yeah.
Now you expanding Bibia. But this one, I say, I'm games behind minimum say be also share
See, aside the money, there is also the politics aspect, and the Madrid, Barcelona, and the other clubs it was seen as a mutiny. The establishment.
Exactly.
FIFA and football, and our regional bodies like UEFA and so for clubs in UEFA to see the vision, see a competition, but even to battle it our court.
Yeah.
Say you pay a fan who to organize your competitions. They needed competitions that will have the mass appeal.
Yeah.
Now say dominating in any budget. Timmy free New Zealand, I'm your Auckland City. Menya kwenya bebo club World Cup nibi. Atomy amamiska. So any decision that will regard the future of football, no, if I am taking part, where do I vote towards? Me vote beko FIFA. So that is a politics angle. So omoye nese limited, and the Madrid anyway mumbeboa. It fits into the narrative of the na Madrid me peso omoye because one a year complaint and now concern amount for raising about the Super League near. They were creating a football competition for the elite.
For the elite, yeah.
In Tiano, appeal to the elite level. Nyene was here every into what check here, Obobo UEFA no, or maybe a Champions League name, more games, and then even participation is what control. So even lesser ranked clubs, or more matches ball. Europa League or BM. Then they've added another competition. In Noah, Yerevan from Armenia. But when you are a European club competition, so Ebanesana, Emma UEFA a stranglehold on a football organizing competitions in the way or team.
Okay.
Then or winning more in terms of the political support.
Okay.
Watch here ECA, European Clubs Association. Or more paying ECA Nasser Khalifi.
Yeah.
So they will team up and then engineer football in a way where there will be mass participation and mass support. FIFA so etnasia. The more ye a competition or ye free or the club World Cup you buy is the Confederation Cup. Yeah, more Confederation Cup and be your first name ke be World Cup. Then your host country near more marker ya select your near your marble. Then FIFA was smart enough. Okay, UEFA for ni years a year. I was yes yet me baby, which means appeal to not just those in Europe, but across the world, globally. Into Obo Auckland City from Oceania, Asia, Yenya Osan Hyundai, Omobabe representative from South Korea. There was a Japanese representation. Then from the Arabia region, Yenya one from UAE align, and Yebenya Alila. First, this year, bought Club World Cup now. You just have one representation from Asia, but this time 4. Oceania no more marginalized. Yenya 1. Africa, first Yenya 1. Now Yenya 4. And 4 African clubs are making good money. There is also another angle to it, aside the politics, politics and development. Infantino Bano Bekacho say, me pese African countries no more football so kone ni mo ekwani bi ni. Sikana Sundowns enya or the babe share into the South African football economy ni ebiem. Ne sikana ko timi trebi man ko South America because of players from Chile, any other angle. So Brazil, it fits into the political narrative. Me Infantino, I want to hold on to power. Me pese me regime netina so che. Then let's appeal to the masses. Oyane sana mpempi na kotia omo wasoro no. The elite. Nti complaints ne free by Europe. Europe. Omo feel say this kind of money is good money though, but the others are getting the opportunity to narrow the gap. Omo ya benya level platform. Inti yehu Sundowns ne Dortmund. Ball omo boy. If Sundowns make this money and invest again, there are a lot of talents on the African continent or bet me for they improving the team. No. Now the more they get the exposure, then they are narrowing that gap and then also adding value to Omomo players. You know? So it means the market. So a ton player free had the acquire ne boneding. Europeans no more pennies are. They will love it for cheap. They have the purchasing power, but they will want to control and monopolize the market. But say when we buy benye car polish, South America for any benye car polish here, or more close gap no. Intended John Arias or Boma Fluminense. But once a man for didn't come so bet me about Europe teams in because arguably he's been one of the best performers for competition. Estevao Willian, Chelsea at 20 but ball no bona gap name wabe brinka nidino. Your friend no Steven Simbio free England and he better 200 million. Wonder kid from UK. Barbara said you are turning for 4. You get it. So among Europeans no among pet. They are not so happy with that.
Well, now players be more expensive.
Exactly. Inti ama sa we know the reactions are from club and then the others. But omo multi football na sene the omoti as here. You football for development as well. And you develop football with money.
So how do we close the gap? Yes, so yeah, one because say Africa, you can watch me. Some Mamelodi Sundowns, and yeah, I mean they are making would they find 13 million. Omama ke odi obi anya 10, then 9.5 million. Odi omon board rozo bi nya 10, odi 10. It means that it says, I mean, I mean, per the report by those top 4 teams, they are going to compete with the Bieni Gold Stars next season.
Exactly.
That is how serious the matter
reality.
Is. Now, baby, any Gold Stars, no one echo ball. Maybe I don't visit ball. If you have a team, maybe 13 players because if you had any go about him, say, which is all you're doing. Yes, you know. How do you bridge that gap? And maybe, I mean, you're starting Confederations Cup. How's it going to acquire the ball? Okay, I mean, not going to force. So maybe you do got a form. But you better close the gap. Say, if you do baby, you be a Ghanaian team that is challenging, at least to even qualify to that level. So, Champions League. How do we do it? Because Mamelodi Sundowns Sikano, Opejas is here. Opejas not the best player in Nigeria.
Exactly.
The best player in Ghana. The best player in Tanzania. All that now for competition, and there are reports now. Almost all the teams are North Africans, Libya, Egypt. You know, apart from Sundowns now, or no, because of the Musepe movie now, they want to be the biggest in Africa. And no so yes, but yeah, you know, I imagine. Say Ghana, even see a draw near say, baby, any Gold Stars in the Sundowns.
You can be some monkeys play by their sizes. Obi a football, a bit more yeah, by any year be. Omo ye football ye ye bia hwe
me because omo ye ball
and ye ball okay ye mfa ne but you see I am happy with the transfer reports no the buy no as at the last year transfers are a year from Ghana over 370 plus I mean can say Ebono and drew $8 million for the transfers from Ghana ye ton players pa but yanto mo wo boy wasro. Now, mostly purchasing clubs or more, the value of a player will commensurate with the quality standard. In the game, you see a developing now. We need to sit down and do a solid review of how your football landscape is here. The idea bobiano, you will sing to home. We don't just lack quality players, say standard number form. We lack infrastructure. Technical expertise, they developing players. We lack it. Again, the business-minded, marketing-oriented executives or mobile running football. No, you need babies how. And you are doing young course. On every sphere, baby idea football piano. You will sing to. So if we want to make amends, near to me a narrow gap now. we need to start from somewhere. And country be our model. Morocco, Fauzi Legia on year or more FA boss. Fortunately for them, was also the treasurer for a year or
Government,
So
Kronia.
he was able to present a feasible football plan or project. Now, or a back in which then yashishe at the ama clubs no dear was a muyeni, dear a bindness uyeni. Into a two-pronged approach. A bind the clubs in it, but clubs in it, no ye tracy carto. And the yatre mo kwaya mon fast. Wow, be fall foul, or if there are any infractions, you bet you and then you will not benefit from the largesse again. Eventually, Morocco clubs ninya fapimbi, so and throughout such a period, we saw Raja Yehuwak. I think that, but for Nasia Raja were one of the most successful clubs. Omofi Africa Club World Cup. Now the TP Mazembe account. Edientia, Omunya fapimbi share omu football. Now check Moroccan football. There is improvement all around. Even among my football, improvement have been because there was a policy, direction. Then it was backed by government. We have not done that yet because we are still meddling in the little water. Insuoni kakrebi ni abra na insuoni nyina ni asai. Inti entumente emienu say we and I'm saying them. Ane ne ye ho kontokwa. So we have failed to embrace the larger picture and include everybody who can contribute. Ya limite no. Inti check how we take football decisions are restricted
to a certain group of people.
How we select players are restricted. Coaches, appointment, restricted. So on every front, yaya over-politicization of our football. And that is the bedrock of the issues at AB Devil here. Unless we take that out, many want to mean to say meaning see your football and fanfa quite way. So it will mostly be the interest of those who are driving now. And then as against the ideas of others in the background. And only a biggest issue. But if you want to change Abayin Bebem, government will need to see football now, not just as a leisure, but they see it as a development tool that can drive social and economic growth. We will no longer spend on football events and entertainment. We will rather invest in football development. Yeah. We have issues with tournament, coast football, but edition from a blasters basis
Okay.
World Cup. You soon about your pitches and your infrastructure, but we are able to mobilize funds and send them to every country. Be a boy, but you prioritize.
Of course.
If we don't even have 2 standard stadia, the both football as it stands now, Ghana, we don't even have a facility equipped enough to stage category 4 matches.
And you are looking at you are talking about a country in 2008 after a
AFCON.
AFCON, am I Babaya Stadium? No, Sablata by almost technical, almost the stadium qualifies to host a World Cup group game.
Thank you very much.
That was 2008.
Thank you very much.
Sao Chrono today, Kotoko, Africa,
17 years later.
Yeah, common qualifies on board. So it means
that's a bigger issue.
Lost cause.
We need technocrats, not politicians. We need people who embrace, not people who create divisions. And then we need to have a certain commitment towards investing in development rather than celebrating events. That is the biggest issue. It's a mindset now. Chamo, you're better than see
Chamo, you see, Krodo so in time for was here. Ghana, a football near Agu can see when sure say Atnafa Kona Jen Guasiana, you go so edgy. Crony the doors will be brave. Anki Betty Media and Wako Bobby Brave, and Yan Sanya Swim, Eddie Ababe, Bendy Genti. The door now be called no Monquaco, no Masadiaba, Yes, I will be drew baby. Be sure born an Emeya, an Emma Reho. Because now they are yani who say penny for Moko Kotokone has he say, oh Ghana football in woo you. So it brings me back to Asma Michael Kazi. I said we celebrate too early and we celebrate a lot of things which are so unnecessary.
And we go ni parko.
Because the parko. this is one-off game, which is a good.
It's just that the interest is there. Maybe I'm not.
The interest, but it was a Jumano do Dona, and I was here near committee yourself to it by proper planning.
Okay.
Proper planning. One money engage you more. Let me say a rare say in terms of contributing to the GDP, recreation activities count. And then most say yes, youth and sports ministry be. Most say sports and recreation. What can be no abo. So if you say a bit to be a better GDP no one, then you need to realize say economic factor also follow cautiously. Now we discuss him. The nama ye day. Ediaba. But you won't say the funny say could agro ni bi. Ya born ni paba kumi ni mensa. Omadru surari. We celebrate it. We are okay. We are fine. Kotoko kwa Africa. We do group stage. Hey, we do group stage. We are happy. Thinking about Ebia Kotoko na Kobo Africa, the next one no be kono send a city ako. And I plan say baby I would do no something more from be no. Yenwe hu sa. Ni ejina fa ko sa, ni celebrity sa. But then they saw the phone no more oil bebrebe wo ska we asemu ska nyina aban hu say. See a discuss response mo a. One, and then munyam pen de bebre. Be discuss so bebre. Obi abeka say oil ska de kegu okwa. But saw the phone they know what they are doing. Because they know what they are doing. To what remember say integrity kekenti. Ano mo sorry ano makofa boxing aba. No makofa F1 aba. No makofa tennis aba. Then you are joking. And then you saw the oil on the bedroom maybe na so mu geopolitical wars ni bi bem. Omo ne kata, omo ni we issues are. They will have something to stand on. To say we at this cabre at this point in time. At the bread this cabre say now was catches hard before. So I am more committed to it.
In the last 3 years, because Champions League, some money teams too. So Man City,
you see, look at it. How our City after Swababeji treble, Qatar Swababeji treble from UAE. It will go on. Now Saudi for the Newcastle, yes, successful. Kuwait, Bahrain, Omunyina so be chance yabe. Obiadi ni sika beba. It will mono cry when we say no, we need to work towards getting something.
But yeah, there is no problem. I think that yes can you name say this you know real to folk. Skabe we nya travel team say.
Yeah, how be $1 million or ton player $1 million no drink ko be fa so be chama so be say no be ntia bi.
Say o se sana o say ye dodo e ho.
Aha, ye dodo.
Say o busu apanyi ni wa, busu apanyi.
Enobo. Also we and they even the Premier League teams, I did was a real one no. When was the last time a Ghana Premier League team a ton player for $2 million?
You need the patience. You need some patience.
When was the last time?
They didn't train you too, no.
When was the last time? Now football pyramid, no. Eya bunitia kakaso kakra because now Division 2, Division 3 for the ton players mu nyeska bebre. Ana kese for ne tesoro. Oya no catch of anema me loan. Obo loan no 1 year. Na Division 2 team no de ne ma kese no loan no. Ono na jiska kese no de kakra na ma we. Oje ya no afili. No akosote bonuses e one chain kakra because ye bo season winning bonus bi ama akem no de akotwetwa say scan ni na afio scan asa hye say scan ye de be wura mu pass e bia ye wo project bi wo ha wo say infrastructure say because training ground so ye na ye ni ya obi free be bi be bo an opponent go kro motim be han on we don't even realize that oh say Kagana ebo Egypt say Egypt be kuma say na Ghana be bo a ehun ya say bia ko ba akodi train obo train obo ya na so ba akodi training guns be an ho be train obo betima ka say oh kotoko facility wa ha a fully equipped it ye mamo e bia mo beje say $50,000 $20,000 we are paying for it alimu na enso omo ye obetimi atwa say training grounds we $50,000 and $20,000 ye be she ho ye training ko a generate we don't even realize that it generates revenue for you any day anytime by yesifa akon. We need to start thinking as a nation to invest at the right places, not at the wrong places. Black Stars somehow okay. Because Black Stars product everyone is the biggest brand of Ghana football when a trade sponsors and a tribute.
I think it's about the biggest sporting brand.
So if you are investing in it, it's markers okay, fine, it's good, we should invest. But be a source ni free by my Black Stars, Black Stars. You quite won't go. Ye hunu se ho ni ntokuro ni yentuatua ni first kan ni fan group ni na se de be yi mpatade aba da bi ye hunu sa ye nim se soro na de mpatane beba mpatane so ba ya na edi no ho en America affect boxing maybe na se na e bia ye wo se sharaf mo e de new marketing it be ba they are trying to work things out swimming You say ko be free Netherlands. Near the aba. You say one could be ultimate dware po bear 4 hours. No we.
The business happen no drive for
Ultimate dware po bear. But you see, that is where you need to invest because akola no the basics no e bia onim the professionalism attached to it. But at least one say the potential no etitare ani. You invest. And we invest in ade abin that wo. Chamo, ade na bin and you invest you and bin and first can shemu da. So at this seed stage now, what see this kind of shame no. Your water so if you would be at the end of that form, how so go so kakra na fifi. No to try ho wheat ban one no ye nya ne sa. Ye de ne say afuna ye mango fefe ne akote ta. Ye twitwa.
Say nede.
En nede ne twitwa. Ne awai ho. Nobody can convince me say we don't have money to invest in sports. Nobody in this country. I'll say it again. Nobody in this country can tell me we can't invest in sports. Should investors say, oh, Kruma say, look at the big cars and big spendings, your big men be here. Look at baby omudo investment. Why not sports?
Because me and some mama, we anywhere entice someone to come, and it's true. I mean, sir, genuinely, you may you to make a sponsor will be also, oh yeah. Okonaga so team we be a Black Stars first no Black Star nko yi no okonaga so Black Star match be sponsors was Black Star
omodin kan che na waka say omonya
so be sponsor Champions League commentary and IPL commentary opere no ade a Black Star unim onyin say be amafo be he no ode ni unze ni the emotions no about to play and aye nti genuinely I mean that's what people do.
We've created a certain environment around our sports to a certain extent say omo ye de ye kra na ye hu ni say ne bone so because the goodwill is not there. I feel a goodwill no e bi mu nya bi kakra de ba.
I think that the last time Ayala how we had that discussion about outlook.
Yes.
PR. Seriously, one of my biggest problems with IFA is how they see PR. Honestly, I feel that omo fan say who hia sa. No, seriously. The team makers are saying, hey, we a football association. You have Nyomanye. People see our football in a certain light. And you may be a CC na di but you work towards him. I mean, sure, they are Italy football cool. Ghana football they come and go. And you be number 12 now, you can want them know. But in Kakra. Now I do love Ubia kwa refi say Kashopoli be buy ma because someone make sure also mu ye be chance say we are tackling it. Ghana, you started about match fixing and say me okrumanye no. We are not doing anything to make it look like I say yeah tackle. And
see. And come on I enuma me we need to understand and fix. See fix here.
And no fundamentals.
First one. I am tight investment. What is the level of investment? I don't know, over the years, people have disagreed with me when they were saying, oh, Dr. Kwame Chimu was coming to my football. Oh, Tobi Afedemu was coming to my football. If you understand the level of investment in football, Dr. Kwame Chimu, you can run football. Unless maybe you want to accept it at the nation's level.
Ghana level, no, yes. You scared of your ball. Now go ahead, ship the line or council, it's can be any Ghana.
If you want to compete,
a friend say, Sundowns are quite friends.
Moist cartoon.
Chamo, we are in 2025. And now, Forbes magazine say, Mochepe is worth $3.5 billion.
That's the man you want to compete with.
So you see, say Okase, you Ghana is a for no more clubs.
We saw $5 million, $10 million or her. Yes, can you
bet me around the club? I'm gonna say you don't really understand what you are talking about.
Bad journey.
When you see car RS Bekani, like you di room or di and yes, kaketwa. Before pyramids, I'm talking about the new generation investors now, and your old ones.
Old ones, yeah.
New ones. Before pyramids became contenders in Egypt, the monies they were throwing into
Yeah.
it.
I'm a Ghanaian players.
And
John
you mean holding on to Sonny Yakuba. And we is Kenya running football. That is not the level now. We are talking about huge sums of dollars. And they do football. And we first need to understand, okay, mostly we need to invest there. To invest and be consistent on the continent. No. A investment be one some na more can. We are talking about say you ever say Kotokone has. A bit me do the level where we can say, oh, now they can compete. We are talking about the level where Omubedru Omo annual budget $50 million. If they are not Omunyendu, we shouldn't expect them to be competing. So how do we get there? So who say one certain standard ni year? And common would know asiasi. How do we get a club in Ghana? An environment that investing annually $50 million in the club. That is the kind of conversation we need to be having. And yet $2 million as well. 15 million. Consistently for 5 years. Every year we are going to go $15 million our spending. Our club no $50 million. Sir, that see you do our level now. Oh, now we can compete. How do we get it? First one. Government environment somebody football. Invest.
Government's understanding of football investment.
And me who go by the first interview, so I realize a major problem is finance. Then you know pen about past sports ministers. Obia can the same thing. But till today, young couples or money parliamentarians and they say, okay, if you say sports your biggest problem is your finance. What have you done to tackle it? Yeah. Zero work. And in Kasapa. You know how to project your
Omeka a sports fan.
Kasa.
Omeka sports fan.
Kasa, Kroma.
Me can go the idea sports fan. You do come over. I catch you say. Time na do more MPP position. Nana do be 8 years ago. So if because the time no more, I'm talking about over 8 years.
Yes, you are talking about like 12 years ago.
Yes. 2016, and John Dramani Mahama, the first presidency, or passing the current Sports Act in the age. Honorable Kojo Baji, Honorable Esiama, Madam Frida Prempe, more sports select committees for Parliament, MPP side. Let's say document in our passing a shallow, a more hard. And it doesn't tackle the issue of sports because it is and a document. Indeed, it is true. Documenting doesn't tackle your issues. In Tomodo Moba, they will tackle the issues with policies on the Beba. Yet to Obama MP will be winning 2016. 2017, May. Honorable Esiama was the Minister for Youth and Sports. And what's the framework committee for the sports fund? 2017, May. It be CN. By the time we no move from them, now be say oh na sports committee na kwesi say oh it is in the pipeline. Omo report about and omo recommendations be omo ntimi and steady recommendations na implemented that today. Now and this as abegim. Honorable Kofi Adams so your problem finance. Onokwade in his first interview also oni abane be kasa say if they could channel a special levy on betting into sports fund in here. Look.
So I no kind me president that day me yinedi. Me yinedi na.
See,
Anya kasa oni me kasa. No, but seriously, I like who is sports minister. Now you must not some no me be sports minister. Dead man. What the budget man ma him now the come chief director. The Kenya sports minister be no attention a document. Yes.
Policy.
Not their come about
policy direction.
This is what I think we should do. The first football for Metiomo, my friend with Metiomo,
Every single federation.
Let's do this. But sports minister, what person? You call World Cup near the 700. Near the corner.
And your podcast we have.
Any other two.
And I'm a guy who say share ye DSTV ni ye Star Times ni ye cable TV si ye share football more for no one. There are two companies. Predominantly, we adverts on football and sports.
Coca-Cola, Guinness.
Drinks.
Aye.
any
betting
beverages.
90% of adverts we see when we watch the Champions League, the EP on it. Kakra bin about finance. Now, Chamo, Argentina, evidence say these are the two companies worldwide. Interested in sports. What are we also doing to attract them to come and invest? Because and they've shown it elsewhere. Maybe American seen your parliament say no alcoholic beverage and a bit sponsor your sports. But that same Embrano have not seized them from doing business our sports centers. And your cost stadium. So I can't tell you, VIP on I think the second floor, the
cafeteria,
I go
transfer.
See, I might have time, you can go there, drink one beer, then go back.
Enjoy.
So they are doing their business, but they can't invest their business.
The interesting thing, Oko the VVIP in Accra Stadium, ka president by half time no. Oko in Sarwa, and so and so and
they know say the reason why they bring Saturday say, when you say football, no, a entertainment product, and every entertainment comes with ye chubby, ye near genius animal. So Argentina, me, Sakamo parliament. Tell me no more shamran. Maybe someone say, look, ye mahu kwaya mo mabaton sandia. But Sikano menya fi most of me invested. Tabo, Saturday be I say, Opa today, ma omo and lift side now. In 48 hours, we will get sponsorship for a Premier League.
For the Ghana Premier League, yeah.
That's the first name ABC.
Today, one of sponsor Emma football. And your Mortar
Guinness.
Mortar Guinness for that catch before they say, oh, we say Emma the game. So we can bring the Mortar Guinness. But Sanke Yenyaya, we will bring Guinness and give you $10 million.
Of course.
For the Premier League.
And they can pay it easily.
Easily.
Exactly.
Guinness card they say a question. I don't use a commercial podcast. It's a message boy in CBAD. They are local beaters.
Message don't go beaters. For you to DSTV. Premier League no more you
They are local beaters.
Ghana has said. Oh yeah.
Sponsor a league simple. Not even the league no cry at that highest level. But they ever say the league number Guinness. But we can get Obuasi beaters one sponsoring Brekum, Chelsea, Bechem.
Individually, they are sponsoring.
They will do it easily.
Yes.
And he said, say international yesu say second system anymore. Now there is a clear evidence say there are two industries. Area sing na omo pushi and go for brand with sika. Na the end they say yemba.
That's your mother.
I don't know why we are discussing these matters.
Baby Yantiasia.
No, no, say there be a them can come no. Seriously, just say yen transfer for school na coin in January.
You will come betting companies about. They are making a lot of money out of the enthusiasm people ever for sports. Till today, you have one policy, one. That is targeted as said, how do we leverage on these betting companies to invest in the sports? You have more 2% extra levy. Now you channel into a sports fund now. Like, we don't have thinkers.
Oh, now me show.
You need be energy. Emma wouldn't come outside. Maybe you having the same conversation.
It sounds like a broken record.
But the solutions are there. And who also want to make here. Who they just pick Obi blueprints and just learn from it.
Exactly.
When you watch it, your sports ministry, your chief directors, your parliamentarians, when they go home and they are watching TV, no more show more favorite teams our TV so the advert that comes, are they not asking themselves, so how do we get these people also to come into our football? Let them be look, say yes, I know where we are. We may not be able to increase. Who this animal way in that to enjoy? You go to Konya house and so they almost running so.
Those running the game.
We talk 16 players today.
No,
last year gonna go 22 gone on for 19. This year is also for more than 8. Now a NFL players bomb the bass bear 4 never. Cross and same players.
You see, and let me boost say, South culture say any of I say we better keep you. Tamana Dr. Chira the narrative outside, they say, oh, they say Dr. Chedi around 50-something billion all cities at Chekotoko. And I'm say, what do you mean by that? Or the Achakotoko say, na a car, a dawa or no better, and also the Achara say a car, your boy when he was the board chairman. So we are board chairman. Nasa Uranu books to a car of 58 million Ghana cedis. Now who write it off the debt from your pocket? Because a car a buy under your administration. And those times, I never find about your top players, your pamomo, your back compensation, your cover coach, you are respecting the contract, your money compensation. So can you see me in a kotokomomu compensations? Now we are now kasa can boom. A car based on or lack of due diligence, one kasa incompetence, any bibia okabum. Now we all can say so. And that's your kotoko papa. That is so wise. Or this minimum, that's how can anymore. And you won't have a boy. And the way we run our clubs, go to Tanzania.
Tanzania, some
yes, go to Tanzania.
People who were
go to Simba and Yanga.
Previously, no more a hampo nebesia.
Now they invite Kotoko to Simba Day and Obese Chamo comes back and say, and this is Tanzania. Tanzania to be told. Kotoko had Fidelity Bank as Omo banks. Migrated to Access Bank. Ansana Simba, Emenya Equity Bank. But I say, why is Equity Bank every year increasing Sika Omedema Simba? Now Kotoko they have to be switching. Even the Ghana Premier League impo, Bank impo be sponsor, Capital Plaza no wa Oma be sponsor. In the middle of mucho. Even the brand the league impo, enti sustain sponsorship. Now by a clubs. But what is Simba doing to Equity Bank or myself? They are making a lot of money. Almost supporters may bring our account for her. Ura Bank, Honas also a Simba Ninti. Or my debit card, and as a credit card, now also a Simba branded one. That's okay, then you pay extra 10 cedis. 10 cedis now, Ukiano, a 8 cedis, a club, 2 Eba Bank. And I say, okay, no problem. For my love for the club, I'll sign up to 8. Win-win situation. Bank ni Yenisika, club Nusu Yenisika. Just say, you could understand the corporate environment from the football. And more be energy to bring Omusika or more resources on board. Enti Enchebiao. So Simba Younger Nancy. Omo knockout stages no more consistent.
Consistent.
Now they've been playing
semi-final.
Yeah. Young amount finals for the Confederations Cup. And they will be winning some
cup. They will be there.
They will go. Club World Cup here, who been next 5 years. RS become money those clubs no must start because almost starting your money on my year.
The pyramids are qualified.
I'm not in sight.
Baby, me enough for. Ubomudi and I, instead of the Bianam for Bianum and Macono. Now, Laja can be no running house. No, let's be honest. He's a go to guy. Alaji Kafra, but Nukremuno. Tima, Obaso Kobebino, a dub level Bia, Yawadi. How do they even plan? Say your horse and saying, me, sure, say Justice Blake, what was so much done. I don't say a performance, a discipline issues. And I'm so Sadia no more young because on the sicker. This is my fault. You are a coach, you are a club official, you are management one. So anytime we baby big to a young palm never fall for. I do in discipline. Unim how in discipline House of Folk days, House of Folk, no 2,000 squad no a Champions League. Cops and wouldn't accommodate a to give you a fast. Just a moody, you don't manage anything. Yes, a sound call, you go far from that. Now go to Connie House here. It's way, oh, ye pay, ye pay more for coach way. But me showed your upper. Yumbusa any of those officials say, didn't now settle on this coach. What thinking went into it? So okay, you pay coach way because of way. Liverpool go for and slot on send star in the club. No, I said, and now technical ideas no, a benefit almost star. You see. I had the other coach way and go fano. Coach way and go fano.
Almost I am back. Come back on my age.
Oh, there be somebody brought them.
Exactly.
Stillman Heights. Uwo Kumasi ni important one. Now I cry Uba Kumasi. Now per baby I relax. A 2-bedroom apartment. A 1-bedroom apartment. In fact, atmosphere no. Wow, when you budget because they're first class residential area. Stillman Heights. Biaya. Family no kwambi to decide say you want a weekend away and number of shaha say. Stillman Heights numbers ne nyina no. And a good screen no and so no.
Well, discussion, they're very interesting. And of course, in some area, Kenya, maybe I will be a club administrator, so a footballer, so one whether you're in government and I be biano. You when you be a fair free. I know can be about, I all day okay about parliamentarian. They say why do you want to put in a parliament? Now if why do you implement it because your party says this. As a people we can learn something from. But real quick, say the way I am kono. Thomas Partey issue Abba. And also will be a conspiracy theories. Maybe so one science na contract na omo yen sa as an we are someone na order that and they do baby na die out. But I mean I me chat Partey's issue a bit to me Abrante no I can just imagine what he's going through right now.
And easy. Psychologically it's tough. Na metie ni lawyer no and I sound very confident.
I sound very confident.
Yeah. Because Chamo, for you to say, oh, you did say as I know, I will watch it. You try to find you are cooperating with the police and no more investigation na you did say now that official or my charge party no. Every man opportunity say obey you one crack as I know finish.
Okay.
So for them, send a worried about the charges, no. Omugiri say a mean say then as some ye after the yebeka. Now they won't be any ye because since 2022, Chamo, how will you live? And so who tell me about it?
Yeah.
So imagine say since 2022, 3 years now oh ha ni atu yen sa for no wako yi nsema no aba oh ha ni atu yen sa for no wako you are under investigation. But he has been playing football. He has been living his life. What it means is say between 2022 ABC and anytime you've seen Partey no Chamo on him say he's been investigated for rape.
And they do every craft or bobo now or jibo no
move. Yes. Yeah. So for me, I think that it is even good psychologically. You good say you do this stage. Say maybe and the then he will be free. Whether guilty or not guilty, you go do whatever you are supposed to do as punishment. Now free oswako. So when you're guilty to the hooray, if you are not under investigation. Now, I have read from the Crown prosecutors now. According to our guidelines, answer no go ahead for any police institution here to charge you. The entire investigation need to be checked and say, one, say the rape case to us, a case.
Yeah.
Enti omo ma ho kwa ma legal impo ye mbodi in reports impo say obi aba report so and for instance Ghana ha obi nko Central Police Station charge office.
Yeah.
Na onkoka say ayala to me ba mo na. Then e ho na no say some choni bi atia.
You
can just say obi ab report e Central Police Station say ayala to akra bi mo na. The reason why they prevent that and say one monato na nkasa in itself e ni guase ma ya.
Yeah.
And unto see many BBA Ginaso and not just the word of Nipakona over reporting. We can't even say Bonipakompodin. What it then means in say almost say answer no member go ahead charge. Then more evidence including any Nipakona any rape not to no so no. Ebi adanse so assembly. Whether that constitutes rape or not, and only the jury and the trial no will find. But at least the person must admit, say,
of course,
what you say, BB, cause so, but the moment do the level of say officially after the account prosecutor says he in charge of it means there is something there.
I just want to build a solid case.
Yes, particularly one that says BBC. Then the second thing, Jamo, how do one person get raped twice? 3 times? Because the 5 count of rape, no. Almost say one woman, or no consider raping twice.
Twice, how?
Then the second woman said, no consider raping 3 times. In person, me tell you, who call no rape? And I will coffee. And another day, or something confusion, or something, or something. Now, they have 3 times. I don't understand how it will happen. So, I can know who say will be a rape. No one say could be only Pakuna rape. No one say could be only Pakuna rape. And I say, in one sexual intercourse, as at the end of the you tell the person to stop when then do you then give your consent again for say best start it? No one say man say
So the way there.
I want to be interested in war. How do you get raped twice, 3 times by the same person? How? See, some they do level now. Yeah, na. Untimi nchiremu ye ne wonka opinion.
But case we hank kutumri case. Kenye case bia. Mami bi call police station. Oko ya be case. I've been raped. When I call the trip bra. When the rape was my husband, I was say, mommy. Wait. Police never feel got to call.
How be
I know I say we have a catch me. Who's almost system
a different form.
But you can say stop.
The moment you
stop.
harass crime.
So those who are raising moral high discussion of sebi or Bibia or Bagana or where he will be more aligned to a Hamra only.
Ghana there.
I am not so interested in Hook of Brony because we don't even know whether a man or woman or a before. But who's a Bema?
Yeah.
And say about issues of say sexuality near Kabema for once and more. You shouldn't be too judgmental.
Yes.
Because who you Bema, you know, you also have a number in your closet. It's me a very, very measured when I am talking about and for private life, any sound no. But the bigger lessons is for all of us. Maybe I know to Ghana, but maybe you may relocate to Obi Maiso.
Yeah.
You just have to be very, very careful.
Very careful.
You just have to be very, very careful. Because in some way, to a player, see. Daniel Alves, Anthony Muniadi. You could clearly see a 2 more man on it.
Yeah.
Into change culture now. The way and conform more whether a deliberate to siphon the system because they understand how our system is here. Or be quite me in the one bro. Then in the event of Uber to plan back on Jai, how will you be able to stop? And empowering me and ya or to me to call rape would you to my edu? Oh, auntie, so what change environment? Not and normally to say yeah. You have to be extra careful in the way wakono on when on maybe remember I'm not judging party, but at least some a little bit of carefulness be a bit me you were free normal but me mean kasempa body but send mendi case in the coin no and mommy GD be say a bit me about so bit me and do report also but at the end of the day so when you're good lawyers now a very, very good case.
Good case.
I'm
just hoping that party lawyers limit me because why they careful, I mean you carry out now.
My other colleagues in the almost rape trial from jury if they are not certified a court trial Lancashire. It means that the case a bit me close over a year.
Yeah. Which is that you don't play football
over a year.
2026.
Nobody will want to associate the brand with Obi Oya. Even Arsenal in Pra, when he was not formally charged.
Yeah.
Our players so near brand 10 years. Now look at the backlash.
Yes.
Until now we are formally charged. When the bad players say, "Yemfa ye corporate entity no go to master party now."
Yeah.
Nsisiano yanhwe ya come be 1 year he will not be able to play
so be a ball
and it will affect him it will affect blasters any BBA around him
the World Cup ambitions
and what am yan
World Cup ambitions
and what am yan na say party bag na wababu academy bi or book games be there one crabby and she na obejai sa no mani nyina nkofo oboa omo me dependent on him ne influence on ne nyina ba because of sasem nti yenya careful obi a woti yan bia no very very careful
mo abrochi no ya monye careful oh enya say bia careful say men konko ye nka sa just like ayaleka no and say yeah culture na ha no seven periods aha obema kwa butimi fu yiri utimi sisa ne matugu abontin ne afre da busa fo no fa ne ko e honso de wo dan no oba na be pam ze ko na wo da hotel na say to your bills omo de na different uti the different cultural settings na tia na wo hu obi sabi we si odi wa agro akono de I mean nobody can blame Partey say hey masa de asem na ke you we bible kwa fo ya no ma bongo kwa no one na yi mu kwa zo mo ye yi eti akono de o others akono de o but ya yenye careful man bi o wa they on an mission omo ba hwe de to name as yenye ni ti na ye na sa camera ade na capture it would have been the end of him and money became more thing when I say obey you say they were repeat 3 times at they dey ba sem as we Ghana na call I feel because ka sem we ya ka sem o mesa ball kakra so repeat back okay ya dia tum na second one na dey uko obi
miensa
one afaka ko
Only the culture and the public opinion about such issues, no, totally different. For example, Mason Greenwood.
look at what they did to that boy
And then on the crowd, so to my war, our warrior, they are living peacefully. But opposite be about Mason Greenwood, you have people within on Babakacho, oh, he's still a rapist.
Social media in-laws, the public court, how they will see you and perceive you. As some way see now, somebody from UK called me, in your opinion, he called me no or can't boy back storage and he said, now I'm for that brepan when you're going to be PM UK. What did the amount for kind of more security job a man? Oh, hospital. Now hospital, now the patients be up now. The whole CTG patients near that day, lady no stretch in the Bibia. I'm not getting the number. It offer an opa area and no check it up. Lady no reporting to hospital authorities say or harassing. And they are didn't know friend an opa, friend area, friend and
oh
like joke. We because say agro, ye inedi. It's about the whole culture. And
I saw no pay you blog na
Chamo. When the mayor call back said, Tama, you saw ye any certificate. Oh, come on, me say, shall be a free no so home.
yeah
Say, Futun and then you had the ketwa. Near funny say, normal. Oh, me, man, so someone a quite cheap baby. Oh, bonfire so one was recipe sign, Monsieur, how a flu so. Because Bua Ukoshiano, a sign. Patasema yeke. Every girl see there has been a conversation baby akoso near there. Maybe no lawyer to judge whether he's right or wrong. They will prove it at the court. But yeah, tiani ya dream say me a foot running tete ya de ma ye de ba. Ye ko baby e wo se sunsun ye ho. Ye bom pa ye wo se esrese nyame ni esan famfiri ye so. So the be asan your man kitten we. Enu trim. Ba no obi akoka be kan. Se se anu be hwefa na okwakosi akan. Ese obe china Europe omo de be tag o omo de be bo ho baby abekobia omo de be bo corporate entities best step up your freedom fighters in our ho e ho your weather climate fighters omo weather no omo so wo say no mutim betina ka akwam na why ates wo repi obi enen omo be san wo kra na obi betimi Manchester United Greenwood issue omo mudi mu tinti my pa na e women's team no
yeah
omo sore ba se da bi omo ntimi ni we share Carrington o ntimi ma ho ne omo be ye enen man na so be do na ja hoko omo mo club ni biem ya se se nyoma wasihye nyina including academy say ma hwe ni ya chamo ya ebia me na wo kasa akora ba ko bi apie free mu a club bi ko pa fa assign no wo se club ni so nipa no kra na academy no de wo ba na kra no nipa no associated with this thing you me sign no akora no chance ni na say why why
and then social media am to say we say oh we always say then kwa na na also go report ya na that easy. And yeah, that's simple.
Chamo Benjamin the video ya babo nti we because say rape.
That's what I'm saying.
The video we get we adia too much.
Abanti bi Christian Yonko bi. O say ababa obi kan sem twi phone hu say obicho so careful. O so ne you oni nya argument o so di agwa ma ko fast can twam hu sisi a Afri police.
So na di come ya do betum which is true.
Camera bi ani hu. O ka cho say una o twa na. Ansan ye be hu sa akwa yi. Enyo no na wadam be 10 years.
Oma how cry.
Nti and okay, so bumpire house musuo ni sign you. Me so empire de bia me because so your branch also born so born no say nyame so ma oba nyansan.
Yes.
Amen.
Very
Nyansani.
important. Very important.
Because seriously, you party then a party no crazy party. You need them hobby.
There be.
Circumstances upon which you buy crazy. Now come continue yes and quay. Yes, so no banner your man stop. Also stop and also what was into a repuno. Some fool say, oh, for chamber and some fool.
Kisisa for ko demo.
And now, would you say be on team member kono accept? Massa didn't know quite do baby. Near catch your passer stopper.
Wow.
Stop, stop.
Wow.
Unti. I don't think the number saying I wish party well because
Stop number
and no pass say
I said stop number I better top. There's a top. I don't see us.
That was a fato to array. I'll catch a bear myself about to array.
I'm telling you, say no man, I catch up and then carry the answer. Oh, wait, think I say, when you need bad way you don't do it, master. A serious matter until and easy song. Me, there be a master can say, Sir Bema, maybe a corner sexual sexuality. Obi asamba na o kan o.
No, I care.
So uti camera chi now the wadwen can be a nika de no. But so wom say pa na edu na ko ya mankofo so e mari bi church ni nyanza na o match.
Exactly.
Uba ko to panyi pa obunu pa obungu to di esra de ya. Enya zo nkito o. Enti masa empemu asem de. Enya that easy but un say yeah certainly different. I mean this case in Ghana is case bia. So we report because say no about do no other 1 2 3 kaka say third one no kwa no repu it makes sense say e be a third one no na mbe so obey you know chichire but un so mo no omo say one consent a rape say o ka cho say jai na wo koya o repu no e ho na be and sa na wenti yen how the proceedings go
so
but
ayana mostly no for cases unya asem crowd and fan say a traditional setting so unya asem maybe a asem befia ye frɛ panyin a ɔwɔ nyansa a onim kasa no wadi wani makoka wa asem ama in this context a legal issue and a criminal law so definitely you will need a representation or tesa contest na say and one thing I'm happy for Partey about here a lawyer no Jenny Wilshire who at the same time represented Benjamin Mendy in the case mo. She's very reputable. Mubuno say Ejuma now or within that contest she's one of the finest UK, not just England. So definitely Partey Nyobia on the technical side because if you are Partey there, but how it will be presented in court.
And Obansu being a woman knows how women think.
Exactly.
Know how a woman
exactly. So the technical aspect, I think that she will be able to coach Partey well because in Pempian will be to prove your innocence. And yet how innocent you are because of the CA. But how you were able to present your case to prove your innocence is very, very crucial. And I want to believe that when there are two things, we are speaking based on the unknown. Speculations never more. I need the kakra womb. We might exaggerate the gravity of it. Send a city and but they will deal with the specifics because charge sheet, whatever documents are available to them. So the only thing here. Partey might be proven innocent in a competent court. But the issue is, there will always be a certain stain on him, even in the aftermath of this. Benjamin Mendy is proven innocent. But you're using as a reference. This is sad stain or sad taint, and that is something that I am a yardman. In the event say he's proven innocent, this taint will forever be part of his name. Internet and so search here bekano. So it is not just in the career and they are affected, but eventually over neba benyini send papa din e batane ho. No ye be sere say aya ye nkura ye ho ye kakra empire ne de ye bebo. Well, but even the Bible says that we should flee from temptations. At times ye nwane empire ne ye.
Who so we dwane we nwane tiu. Asem mun tase o. Asem no bia unya nka be dwane. But you know, if I couldn't who say, I don't know, no kind of need I feel who ye years die. That's assassin with the economy. Oh, Ending, but in so. But the only thing that we can only hope that I mean, case number call na Mr. Pobi of blessed memory. On a year, see a man who couldn't need. Na yɛhwɛ sɛ nokorɛ no ɛwɔ mu no nyinaa bɛba na nkɔyi bi ntwato so a na yi of course sɛde deɛ ameka no sɛ nokorɛ sɛ bi ɔkɔ repu ne wanwan a mmara no they are raised to ɛne sɛ nyɛ yeah it's not for us to judge but case no nkɔ sɛ de bi si akɔ no na onya ne carrier no kora ne ho hia me yɛwɔ a lot of people a sɛbi ɔmo nsa kɔ ɔma no through him yɛwɔ not a lot of people a they love him I mean they are ɔmo yɛ inspired by how he plays how he sit here and all that ɔmo nyinaa everything effect. So we are just hoping that Nina Bibia Bitia Bibia Koyi. Eti to Thomas Partey, we wish you well. We are hoping say we are bringing finality to this matter. Now we are to us about that is the hope. Say bia the Kenya must say in chat so. Everyone koyesa. BKB show na Ogusu aho hwe and of course discussion here very very interesting. I wasn't here to us but I said yes yeah no. Yeah the first part this year nyame aduma next week. Yeah, the second part, Beba. And of course, discussion, yeah, back to us, very, very interesting ones. Until we shall make a date, now you share next week.